views expressed on this program are those of the hosts, guests, and callers, and are not necessarily those of this station, its management, or other advertisers. You're listening to Transformation Talk Radio.
Reclaim your power and learn to live your most amazing life with Mike Murphy Unfiltered Radio. Unfettered, unflinching, unafraid. Tune in every Thursday from noon to 2 Pacific Time on TransformationTalkRadio.com as Mike explores authentic and relevant truth and powerful conversations with some of the world's most renowned game changers. This hit show taps the dynamic principles of the creation frequency to unleash unlimited infinite potential and guide you to manifesting the highest possibilities of your heart. Level up your life and rewire your programming. Think new thoughts and create true freedom. Let's expand energy, build true health and explosive frequency consciousness together. Powerful people, powerful conversations, powerful listeners. Infinite possibilities, fostering peace and joy with an unfiltered heart. Now, here's Mike Murphy, Unfiltered.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and you're listening to the Mike Murphy Unfiltered Show, and I'm Mike Murphy. And if you listen long enough, you'll figure out the unfiltered part as we go down this road together. And seeing as how this is my first show and ever, and I'm a little, I wouldn't say nervous, but apprehensive, a little cautionary. But I'm really super excited to be here. But I think it's important that since it's the first show, that I tell you a little bit about myself, how I ended up doing this and why I'm doing this. And then for the first hour, we got a great guest coming up for you, international speaker, great author, and it's going to inspire us all. And in the second hour, we have another great guest. So stay tuned for all that. But so why am I sitting here? So, in May of 2018, I published my second book called The Creation Frequency. And as part of the publicity tour, promote the book, so on and so forth, the publisher booked me on a lot of radio shows. And one of those radio shows was the Dr. Pat Show. And I don't know if you're familiar with Dr. Pat, but I'm assuming a lot of you are. And she's a wonderful woman up there in Seattle. One, she's a great radio show host, but secondly, she's building this incredible transformational talk radio network. And so we got to talking, and she said, you might want to have your own show. And, I told her what I'm trying to do with my life, so on and so forth. So here we are. After a few months, or I guess 6 months now, working on this, here I am. And so, why did I write a book? So that's an interesting subject. So I first started writing my first book in 2011, the summer of 2011. And I wanted to write a book about my wife, Margot, this amazing, beautiful woman who had just passed away. And I was in this total state of devastation and grief. And I just witnessed this amazing woman embrace death, transcend suffering, transcend death. And I got to witness it. And I wanted to tell this story and share it with people because it moved me. It changed everything about me. So I really wanted to write this book. So I started to do that. And at the same time, in this grief state that I was in, and my wife was 38 years old when she passed away, another 38-year-old woman came up to me and moved to the San Francisco Bay Area where I was living at the time and said, Mike, I have stage 4 breast cancer. I know you know a lot about it after 9 years with your wife, Margot. Can you help me find an oncologist? And her name was Amanda. So I started working with Amanda, trying to help her to find a good oncologist. So I took her to ours. He ordered some tests. And there I found myself in the same kind of situation again with a completely different person, same age, another beautiful young woman, except she had 3 children where Margot didn't have any. And so I went through this traumatic experience with Margot and then with Amanda, and that inspired me to create a nonprofit foundation called the Love for Margot Foundation. And I started out working with women primarily below the poverty zone and that didn't have resources, that had this terrible disease. And so we started providing financial grants and love and support and encouragement and that kind of stuff. And that kind of became my life's work. And then in the middle of writing this book about my wife, I said, I want to shift gears because when I was a young man in early 20s, I met a person that I called a mystery man. And he taught me a law of attraction in a way that no one has ever really taught it before. And significantly changed my life. My life was a mess. I was a juvenile delinquent, a runaway, didn't go to school, just a bad guy, right? And woke up at age 24, divorced with a 2-year-old daughter, and no job, no education, no future, no money, no credit. And I was in a 12-step program, and the guy said to me, your life's a mess, Mike, but I know somebody that might be able to help you. And so that was the mystery man. And he taught me this law of attraction and using technology. We'll get more into that later. So I ended up writing this book called Love Unfiltered. And people missed the message because, I was a little ADD at the time, and there's an emotional story about my wife and her passing. So people really resonated with that, but they missed the law of attraction part. So the book did fairly well, but not great. But people missed the message that I wanted them to get because another part of me, after going through this experience, I started looking at the world and what was going on, and I realized that, the world is changing dramatically and at warp speed, and I don't think we're going in the right direction. And as a father of 4 and a grandfather of 5, I have a vested interest in the future of this world and humanity. And, I'm concerned about all of our children in the future. So I wanted to wake people up to the truth and teach them this law of attraction so that they can create a much better life. Therefore, we can create a much better world, and we can start turning things around and going into a more positive direction. And people missed the message. So here I am running this foundation. I have this book, and I'm trying to become an author. It's a very crazy thing to do. It's hard work, much more harder than I thought. So I go, okay, I'm going to write another book and just focus on what we call the creation frequency, which basically is the law of attraction, but taught in a way using sound technology. I really go in. The mystery man really taught me how to break our life into 6 categories, create balance, and then write powerful intentions as if they already exist. And then the secret was to record them and then listen every morning, every night. And there's a lot of things that take place internally and externally when we do that work. And we'll get into that a lot more as we go down the road together. So now that book comes out, and I have this nonprofit foundation. And now I'm spending a lot of money trying to sell books and not being that successful, although the creation frequency finally took off and it's doing well. So I go, well, I can't keep funding this nonprofit work because I'm going broke, and I was funding almost all of it myself. So what can we create to create revenue to fund that work so I can continue this work? And 2 things happened. One, we created an online course. So now we have a product we sell, and a large percentage of that money goes to fund the nonprofit work of the Love for Margot Foundation. At the same time, I looked at the Love for Margot Foundation. I said, well, what can we do to expand to where we can get more people to support us financially? And I found this amazing woman named Talia that works with youth, primarily youth that come out of foster care or youth that come out of juvenile delinquency system. And she's teaching them real skills. So I said, okay, so we have this extra building here in Oakland, California, and let's create a community center, and let's take these kids. And this was one of my original intentions way back in the early 80s with the Mystery Man, was contribution and working with youth. And let's create a community center, and let's teach these kids how to go out and interview for a job, how to dress, how to speak, how to shake hands, how to look someone in the eye, just basic stuff. But more importantly, then let's teach them technology. So we're Apple certified technology center where we can teach these kids how to use all the Apple products. In addition, we've created a sound booth, and we've created a video stage where they can make videos, they can create music. So they're learning all that technology because the future is going in that direction, i.e. here I am doing this thing here. And everybody and their brother now has their own YouTube channel or their Facebook Live page. So, but anyways, I find that all fascinating and interesting, but that's the future. So we're teaching these kids that stuff. And in addition, I've been a car dealer my whole career as an adult. And right across the street from the community center, we have a Volkswagen dealership in Oakland. So we bring over a technician. We pay these kids to show up and learn this stuff. So they're making money. They're making the world a better place. And then we bring in over technicians. We teach them how to work on cars or to sell cars and stuff like that. So the Love for Margot Foundation has spun around and is now the Love for Margot Community Center. And then I still have this mission to help women with cancer, but we're doing it primarily through education right now. So we've hit a little pause there, and we're hoping to get more funding through this radio show and the products that we sell and so on and so forth. And then really create a place for education where women that unfortunately hear the words, unfortunately you have cancer, have a place to go. And there's 50 interviews of other women that have heard the same words. Well, unfortunately you have breast cancer. And they share their experience, strength, and hope. So now, because when we hear those words, we're just shocked, and it really affects us, and we go into fear, and we're not listening, and it's hard to make good decisions. So, and we have to trust the guy with the white coat and the stethoscope, and he's being trained by the drug companies. So I want to open everybody's mind and say, hey, maybe there's other options for you. I don't know. It's something you have to explore. But here's 50 women that heard those words, and this is what they did, and this is what they would do now based on all these years of experience. I was just there for 9 years as the witness, and I've been there for the last 7 years, so hundreds of women as the witness, and see how the system works. And it's not very pretty, I'll be honest with you. So basically that's how I got here. That's why I'm here. I'm here to help people really see what's going on in the world. There's some things that we can do. There's a lot of things that are creating a lot of toxicity, and there's things that we can do to protect our body. There's a lot of things in the banking industry, and there's things we can do to protect our wealth. And there's things that we can do to increase our energy, our vibration, our frequency, to create a much better life for our families, ourselves, and then eventually our community, and then eventually the world. And it's by changing that, we can change the consciousness, and we can take this negative direction that I see we're going in many areas, turn them around and go in a positive way. So that's why I'm here. And then also, hopefully you support our sponsors, and we can make some money, and we can create this, continue to make this nonprofit world work and spread that. Contribution is one of the greatest gifts that we can do, because it fulfills the heart, our true self. It moves us out of what I call the insane asylum, the committee, the judge, the critic, and all that, and into our heart, which is our true soul and our true essence. And we're blessed. And my favorite saying is, we can't outgive God, or we can't outgive the universe. So the more I give with a pure heart and with no agenda to receive, the more I'm blessed. And I'm continuously blown away from this. Is it easy? No. Is it sometimes painful? Yes. People ask me, Mike, how much should I give? Give as much as you can until it hurts, and then just a little bit more, and you'll get blessed. At least that's been my experience, and those are the ancient teachings. So God bless you for listening to us. And the most important thing is, we're going to be here every Thursday, noon to 2, and we're going to bring you so many great guests. We have 2 amazing guests today, but we're going to touch subjects like vaccinations. What's the truth? Is it good or bad what you should do? What does the law say? Where's it headed? These GMO foods, this glyphosate. There's so many toxic things. There's 151 known chemicals that cause breast cancer. And, I see so many young girls today, they put their phone in their bra. Okay, this is radiation. Radiation causes cancer. This 5G, this is brand new. This is going to be a game changer for our health. Excuse me. Because, we live in an electrical universe. Our bodies are electricity. It's all electricity and magnetism. That's all that's going on here. And it's the magnetism that holds together the electrons, the atoms, which are electrons. And then we have all this Wi-Fi, 5G, all this electricity, this blue light. So we're going to get into a lot of powerful subjects. There's a lot of new technology being discovered, how we can really increase our energy, our vibration, our health, our physical health, and then our mental health, and then our emotional health. So that's really what we're going to do here every Thursday, noon to 2, and I'm excited. I'm excited for this opportunity. I welcome your feedback. I hope I can be of service to you. I hope I can bring you things that really work to help make your life better and make your dreams come true. And speaking of dreams coming true, I'm so excited. My first guest is, one, a very dear friend, but also my own personal coach. And she's probably one of the greatest life coaches of all time. And her name is Marcia Wieder. And I'm so excited that she's going to be our first guest on our first show. And so when we come back in just 3 quick moments, stay with us. And I can't wait for you to meet Marcia Wieder and hear what she has to share with us today. We'll be right back.
Did you know that all of the shows on the Transformation Radio Network are available as podcasts to stream or download?
Really?
Check us out. Go to transformationradio.fm. We have business shows, spiritual shows, energy healing shows, and pretty much everything in between. Something for everyone, guaranteed to inspire, educate, and transform. We are transforming the world, one listener at a time.
Are you ready for unfiltered gratitude, unfiltered frequency, and unfiltered creation? Then don't miss Mike Murphy Unfiltered on TransformationTalkRadio.com Thursday from 12 to 2 Pacific Time. as Mike Murphy and a cast of powerful guests discuss and demonstrate the principles and practices of the creation frequency. Tune in to unleash the power of your mind. Open the immense energy of the heart to manifest an awesome life filled with true health, wealth, confidence, gratitude, and joy. Unfiltered truth and unfiltered frequency to uncover and let go of limiting beliefs and access your powerful intentions that resonate out into the universe with Mike Murphy Unfiltered. For more information on Mike and his work, visit his website at MikeMurphyUnfiltered.com.
Miss any shows during the week? Don't worry, we've got you covered. With the free Transformation Talk radio app, you'll have access to all of the past week's shows in the palm of your hand. Yeah! Tune in to Transformation Talk Radio anywhere you go with our free app for any of your devices. Check out our app in the App Store and Google Play Store today.
Very special guest here today for our first show. And Marcia Wieder, well, I could tell you about the 2 times she was on Oprah. I could tell you about the almost 20 books that she's written and published. I could tell you how she's this wonderful, great international speaker. I can tell you a million things about her and how she's evolving into this spiritual teacher now and really making a transformation in her own personal life. But let me just tell you how I met her, and that will just really illustrate the power of this lady. I was at a conference for authors before I published my first book, trying to learn the industry. I'd been a long weekend, and we were tired, and I really wanted to get going, and told my son Mike, who was with me, hey, let's just stay for one more speaker. And up comes this under 5 foot, powerhouse of a woman, can't weigh more than 110 pounds, and walks on the stage and started speaking. I don't even recall the subject today, but all I recall is this electrical energy going through me where literally my feet were like frozen to the floor. And I kept leaning over to my son. I said, Mike, I gotta work with this woman. There's something going on here. I've only felt this once or twice in my entire life, this connection, this energy connection. I was 50 yards away from her. And she mentioned on stage, she was giving maybe a 30-minute talk or so, and she mentioned that she works with people one-on-one. And I told my son again, I said, Mike, I got to work with this woman. And so, she said what her fee was, and I wrote a check out. And then when she came off stage, and it was a sizable check, and I went up to her real quickly. So I grabbed her, I said, hey, here's a check. I want to work with you. And she says, okay, there's a lot of people here that want to talk to me. I'll be right with you. Well, 45 minutes later, and I don't think they bought anything, and I don't think any of them gave them a large check, okay? And I'm standing in the corner wanting to go home. 45 minutes later, this woman comes up to me, great, nice to meet you. How can we work together? So that, to me, that the integrity in that, because most people would have gotten this check and said, hey, screw all these people over here. I'm going over there, right? And she stayed and talked to every last person that weren't buying anything, because that's called integrity. And so she's been my personal coach for the last 5-6 years now. She's helped me grow in this new career, transitioning from an automobile dealer into an author, speaker kind of person. And so, Marcia, welcome. I'm so glad you're here.
I am honored to be with you on your first show. Thanks for having me.
And what's very interesting, folks, is that I'm in my home in La Quinta, California, and Marcia is in my bedroom in Medellin, Colombia, on my farmhouse, where we're building a healing retreat center, doing a retreat herself there. So
what's even more strange is that I live in Rome, Italy. So
yeah, and she's moved from Beverly Hills to Rome, Italy. So and I was just there in Medellin with her, and we attempted to pre-record this interview instead of going live today. And we had some internet connections, so it didn't work out. So I had to come back, and well, here we are. And
here we are.
So, Marcia, I know that you've coached people like Jack Canfield, one of the leaders in the industry. I know that you 30 years ago, whenever you went into this field, this personal development field with a dream to help people make their dreams come true. And I know how difficult it was, because I've been trying to do it myself the last 5 years. And being a woman back in those days, you really broke the glass ceiling in this field and really created an amazing business, and really mastered that field that you were in. And really, you did it as a dream coach. And I know you coached a lot of other people to coach people. So I'm curious, and I know how you work with me, but I'm curious, what makes you a great coach?
Oh, well, thank you. Humility, maybe. When I started my company, Dream University, 30 years ago, people told me I would starve. They said, you can't make a living helping people achieve their dreams. But like you, when I looked at the world, I saw there was a lot of sadness, a lot of fear, a lot of anger. And I had been able to make a lot of wonderful and important things happen in my life. So I thought, well, maybe there's a process here. And I actually sat down and created the process that then became the methodology for the Dream Coach certification and so forth and so on. But I over the years, I've developed this kind of funny saying, we've been to hell, lived to tell about it. Hopefully we either have or are transmuting it into love. We must be here to teach about it. So each of us lives through the difficulties and the challenges that we live through in order to help and share and support other people. So I grew up with a handicapped sister in a family where my father banished God from the house and didn't believe in faith. And there was a lot of hopelessness. And unconsciously, I think I became this kind of Susie Hope character. You can believe, if you believe it, you can do it. But also I have a well-developed business mind. So I know that you can't just tell people, visualizing it will happen. That might work for some people. For me, I was all about CBA, get clear about what matters to you, what you do and don't want, believe in yourself and your dreams, and prove that you're more committed to your dreams than to your doubts or fears or even reality by taking action. And I think this combination of whole brain thinking, visionary and creative, practical and strategic, and supportively holding people accountable for doing what they say they're going to do gave me a foundation and a reputation over many years.
Wow, so powerful. And it's interesting, out of this experience of having a home like that, you grew into this spiritual, strong person. So it's just funny how the life works, right?
And yeah, it's still unfolding and developing. And one of the greatest skills in the last, I would say, 5 or 6 years that really changed my life and gave me a lot more liberation was discernment. The ability to really know my own heart and trust it, to be able to say no thank you or no more. Because when we say no more to what's no longer true, we can say now what, or ask the question, now what? What's
right.
possible? So, people have fear of missing out or fear of making the wrong choice or making a change in career or life. But I found that the more I was discerning and said no thank you to the things that I could. We don't always have a choice. Your kids need you or you're under deadline at work. We don't always have a choice, but I developed the practice that if someone asked me to do something and I didn't want to do it and I didn't have to do it, saying no, thank you. And that really freed me up for new dreams and new creativity.
Yeah. And and I know that you took your business and you trained a lot of people to be coaches, life coaches.
Over 1,000 dream coaches live. And then I think several more thousand through our dreamuniversity.com website through the online program.
Yeah, so check that out, folks. If you want to learn more, go to dreamuniversity.com. It's a simple process to sign up to learn how to be a life coach through Marcia's process. And it will really, if you're into helping people and serving people, she has great information, great skills, and it will really get you going on that path if that's your desire. It's kind of a shortcut.
We helped a serious business out of it. You can do it just because you love to help people, but also if you want to be paid well for helping people achieve their dreams, being a certified dream coach is a profound way to go.
Yeah, and you're so good at it, and your training is so, and I've learned so much from you. So, and let me ask you this, because you were very in one of our one days that we do in a coaching session. You helped me come up with the term, or maybe came up with it yourself, for the title of the book, The Creation Frequency. And it's been a really good title. So thank you for that. And What is your take on law of attraction, manifesting? How do you view it? What's your concept?
Well, I to be completely honest, it was never my main thing because I'm so action oriented. But some of the core principles I think are profound. But for me, the piece that has to be added to it are the first 2 steps of the Dream Coach method. One is intention. Intention is the rudder that steers the course of our life, but without step 2, it's worthless. And step 2 is about living with integrity. So I found that if we don't trust ourselves, we're not going to trust anyone else, and we're not going to trust life. So I often use my hand. We have intention, which is the rudder that steers our life. And then we say we want something and we do something else. I want to be healthy and physically fit, and then I eat junk or don't go to the gym. Right. Yeah. And, or I say I really want this dream, like to write a book, and I never do anything about it. Yeah. And that causes a lot of suffering. So I believe once you are aligned with your intention and integrity, the principles of the law of attraction become magical. Because once you know you're trustworthy and the inner and the outer are aligned, then when you start to get clear about what you want and you see it and you have affirmations and you're really highly intentional about it, that's where I've seen the most profound results.
Yeah, and you nailed it, integrity. If I say, hey, I want to run a marathon and I'm out getting drunk every night, guess what? There's a disconnect, right? So very powerful. Another important thing about coaching, and I want to hear your ideas on this, is, and you mentioned this word earlier, is accountability. And I think that's the beauty of a coach, is that accountability.
Yes, because it seems like we're 1,000 times more likely to do something when we tell someone else that we're going to do it. So every good coach I know, including me, has had or has a coach. So for me, it's not just the accountability. It's somebody who sees you, who really hears you, who creates a safe space so that there's room for you to talk about your fears and doubts. You don't have to be all love and light, but wherever there's an obstacle, including doubt or fear, we can design a strategy for managing it. In the Dream Coach program, we call that the doubt removal step. And some people just go through the Dream Coach process just to use it on themselves. But when you have somebody who believes in you, who really gets you, and who isn't going to wimp out on you when you complain, or who's going to call you to the mat when you don't do what you say you're going to do, that helps build trust and greater resource. And hey, look, the more I believe in myself, the more I'm going to take greater risk, dream bigger dreams, and trust that I'm actually going to follow through. And I think that also, through the law of attraction, attracts more opportunity to me. I mean, at a basic level, more people are going to trust doing business with me because I do what I say that I'm going to do.
Right.
And so the inner work of trusting ourselves and having a coach reflecting back the progress that you're making, I think is really invaluable.
Yeah. And folks, listen, I've spent so much time with this woman in so many different situations, and integrity. She's just full of integrity, and she's strong. And, sometimes you don't like her integrity in your face, to be honest with you, as a coach.
Because I know your listeners will get this. There's integrity 101, which is about just doing what you say you're going to do. And then there's a whole nother level of integrity at a soul level. Because in the Dream Coach methodology, it's about really knowing who you are, whether you call it your purpose, your mission, or your destiny. But then when you start to look at, wow, where am I, in integrity with my soul, and where am I out of integrity with my soul? That opens up a whole nother playing field.
Yeah, amen. Now we get into the Don Miguel Ruiz and be impeccable with your word. Now we're at a whole nother level of that. So, folks, we got a break coming up. We're going to be right back in just a few moments. And so one thing about Marcia, she has a unique approach to selling. And no matter what you're doing, you might not think you're a salesperson. We are all salespersons. You might just be at home with the kids and your husband, but you got to sell those kids and you got to sell the husband. So we all need to become better salespeople. And I love her approach to it. So stay tuned. We're going to be right back in just a few minutes.
Your favorite Transformation Talk radio shows are now on Spotify. What? Simply search out your favorite host or show by name, tap the subscribe button, and boom! With over 150 million active monthly users on Spotify, Transformation Talk Radio is thrilled to expand our reach so you never have to miss an episode. Well, what the heck are you waiting for? Log into Spotify and subscribe now.
Wow. Hey, everyone. Welcome. Welcome to the Dr. Pat Show. This is Talk Radio to Thrive By. I'm telling you, I got to pinch myself some days, because when each of us gets called to do something that we so not thought was in our wheelhouse to do for a purpose that's so much greater than us, we get to show up and shine.
If you would like to show up and shine on the Dr. Pat Show as a co-host or sponsor, send us an email to inspire@thedrpatshow.com.
Are you traveling most of your day? Do you want to take Transformation Talk Radio with you anywhere you go? Well, guess what? There's an app for that. Just go to the App Store on your Apple device or the Google Play Store on your Android and search Transformation Talk Radio. Catch all of our live shows no matter where you are. Thanks for listening.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm so excited to have you here today, and I'm especially pleased to have my friend and my coach and a special guest, Marcia Wieder, with us today. And she's really been sharing with us, how to be a better coach. And we need to coach ourselves and our families, and then, depending on what we do in the world, we might be coaching a lot of people. So check out her work at dreamuniversity.com to learn more. And so what I love about Marcia, and I've seen her in so many situations, but I always say, I wish I had the cojones like Marcia, because when it comes to selling and closing, I've never seen anybody better in my entire life. And folks, I sold cars for many, many years, and I've been a car dealer for over 30 years. So I know a little bit about selling. But she's very unique and powerful in her approach. So just in my brief career, the old way it used to be product, hammer the close, right? And then as I grew in my career, we got more into building rapport, and then the sale kind of takes care of itself. But Marcia has taken this concept to a whole much another level. So, and by the way, folks, we all need to become better salespeople. Whether you don't do it for a living, you're doing it for your family, you're doing it when you go to the grocery store, you're doing it when you pick up the phone and call the bank. So we're always selling, to get what we need. So Marcia, please elaborate on your special skill of selling.
Yeah, Mike and I think we've done 8 private days together, visionary strategy days. And if you want to see Mike's great video testimonial, go to my personal site, marciaweeder.com. Not like Joe Weeder, marciaweeder.com. Because I've watched you transform so much. And I hear you talk about product. That's who you were when I met you, and it's not who you are now. So I love seeing it. And I say it a little different. I would say we're always enrolling. Enrolling is when you share your dream or vision in a way that inspires other people to join you, to help you, to hire you. The obstacle called I don't have enough money to achieve my dream often disappears when you master this skill. And it really comes down to sharing your dream. But you should share your dream like a visionary. So a visionary has a dream or a big dream. They articulate it with clarity. They express it with passion. And most importantly, they invite or inspire or enroll other people in joining them. So I used to teach it for many years, a very specific 4-step process. And then I found a way to simplify it even more. But I'll give you the 4 steps because I think they're valuable. Number 1, you have to establish rapport. If people don't like you or trust you, there's no place to go. So, you do that by being authentic and listening and having a relationship with people. You establish rapport. Number 2, you build value. People buy value. When you're giving more than you're charging them for, that's a good deal. So we build value by understanding what other people need and want, asking good questions. Number 3, you overcome objections. Usually the biggest objections sound like I don't have the time or I don't have the money. But usually it has something to do with they don't trust you. Or you haven't built enough value. So you overcome objections by doing more of 1 and 2. Establish more rapport and build more value. And step number 4, you secure an agreement. What next step are you taking together? Are they going to make a phone call for you? Because like Mike said, enrollment could be enrolling your spouse and going on the vacation you want to, or asking somebody to make an introduction. It's not always about closing the sale. But securing an agreement, you're both on the same page. Well, after teaching this to thousands of people for decades, I actually got that it really comes down to 2 simple things. Enrollment is you inspire people with your vision and you invite them to join you. So at one of the events that I used to put on, now we sell it as a home study course. It's called the Wealthy Visionary Conference. I came in on the first morning, and we had been together the evening before, and I said, hey, I've got this crazy idea. And I said, but I'm going to use it to demonstrate enrollment. So I'm pulling back the curtain, right? I'm saying, pay attention to what I actually do. So, I'm living in Italy now, and I got this vision that 4 people, I actually think 4 women, want to join me in September on these dates on La Dolce Vita tour. And here's all I know. It's going to be a week with me, small group. We'll visit all the major sites. We'll have time to be in Florence and Tuscany. We'll cook, eat, shop. And throughout the week, I will do individual coaching in a group process. And it's $25,000. And I'm sorry I don't have an order form. I don't know the hotel. I really don't know any other logistics, but I know it's going to be an amazing time. Somebody from the back of the room interrupts me and yells out, "Hey, Marcia, it's sold out." And like the room, and I think I went, I took a gasp. And one woman's like, "But I still want it." So I said, "Where are the 4 people who bought it?" They stood up. I said, "Give me a thumbs up if you're okay making it 5. So we took, and it happened like that, and literally in under a minute. And so I just said to the room, so all I did was inspire you with my vision because I was genuinely excited about it. I invited you to join me, and I made it easy for you to say yes. I didn't even have an order form, and so people don't buy features and it's, of course they buy benefits. What's the value for them? But if something moves them and touches them and they're inspired by your vision and you invite them, if it resonates with them, chances are they're going to join you.
And I want to ask you this, but I want to preface it by saying you just made $125,000. And you have to have really huge self-esteem to go for that. That I know for a fact. So you have enormous self-esteem. But I think that self-esteem comes because you have such integrity. And you're going to give more value than they could ever pay you for.
Well, one of the things, and I'm really happy that we captured this and it's now a home study course, because Wealthy Visionary isn't about how to make as much money as you possibly can. It's about valuing who you are. Right. Because when you value who you are, you'll charge what you're worth. I mean, I felt great about charging that, and people said it was worth every penny. And, the trip cost me $25,000 to put on, so I netted $100,000, and everybody got tremendous value, and I had an amazing experience and was very happy to make that kind of money. So what I know is each of us is wounded in a certain way. Whether we go back to the original sin in the Bible or our childhood or something that happened to us. But that wound forms our purpose and our calling. However, if you feel like there's a hole inside your heart, inside your being, inside your soul, if I give you $1 million, 1 million times 0 is still 0. So we have to do the work to fix the hole. We don't want to have a leak in the bucket, dear Liza. So we mend the bucket through love and compassion. We become trustworthy through integrity. And through that, we can value ourselves more and be more generous, because it's not always about making more money. I mean, at the same event, we raised $150,000 and built 7 schools in Kenya. And I'm paying to go there this summer to teach the girls that we donated to. Yeah. But the ability to generate abundance and wealth, if we don't have the self-esteem that you're talking about, I don't think it can happen. And even if it happens, I don't know that we appreciate it.
Yeah. And so folks listening, so I know a lot of you out there are struggling with finances right now, and we cannot not. I mean, we're getting 1% in the bank for interest and inflation is 4 or 5%. We're all going negative, right? And we're getting scared. This is crazy. So, but listen what she just said, because she has such self-esteem and such high integrity, it was just one idea. All of you guys are one idea, one thought away from transforming your financial situation. But you got to be in line with who you are, and have that integrity and raise your self-esteem. And you only raise self-esteem by doing what's right. You do good.
I love that so much, Mike. I love that so much. You're really making such an important point, and also the only way to get good at enrollment is to practice.
Yeah.
So get in touch with something that matters to you, share it with somebody else in a way that inspires them, and invite them in some small way to join you, even if they're just going to give you a hug because your idea is a good idea.
Yeah.
Start wherever you can. And those of you that are already, playing full out, practice the idea of coming into your heart. Like, people can feel when you're being authentic. And if you're coming from a place, well, this matters to me, and here's why you might be interested as well, that's the ideal way to inspire and enroll people.
Yeah, and you nailed it again. I mean, folks, in the heart comes the sincerity. In the heart comes your truth, your essence, your soul. Up here is just, anybody can be programmed to believe anything, okay? But in here is who you are. You know, they can brainwash us for sure, but they can't take our soul. We have to give it to them. So this is what it's a battle for, is your soul, your integrity, your life. And that's what we have to take.
This process of making dreams come true can be used personally, professionally, emotionally, and spiritually. If your dream is to be healthier and happier, that's an extraordinary dream. And yes, you can work on that and you can make progress on that by living more intentionally, living with greater integrity, knowing who you are, not projecting your fears and doubts into the dream, not sabotaging yourself. I mean, all doubts basically come down to an internal or an external belief. There's either something I don't believe about myself, my dream, or my world, so I sabotage it, or something that I think I don't have and I don't need, and some strategy that I need to accomplish. And once we get really clear that we're the one that's putting the obstacle into place, we can really intentionally design practices to become more effective to actually take action on what matters to us.
Yeah, and something else magical you said is, because once we learn to make our own dreams come true, and I know you'll resonate with this, then we're blessed to be able to help others make their dreams come true. And now the blessings overflow and our heart becomes super full of love and joy, and we grow richer, you know? And the work that you do, the work I do, I mean, sometimes it's very difficult, right? To walk this talk and be sincere and aligned, right? And we take arrows too. We get criticism, and it's tough, you know, but the thing is, we're doing it, you know, and we're doing it with a pure heart to serve. And that's the beauty. When we come back, we're going to take a quick break, folks. When we come back, I want to talk about money and spirituality. And because what I love about Marcia, she reminds me a lot of Wayne Dyer. What I love about Wayne Dyer, he was always evolving to a higher level, a different teaching, expanding himself, his growth. And Marcia's the same way. So she became very, very successful in this world. And then she switched into more of a spiritual teacher. So when we come back in just a few minutes, I want to get into that with Marcia Wieder. We'll be right back.
Did you know that all of the shows on the Transformation Radio Network are available as podcasts to stream or download?
Really?
Check us out. Go to transformationradio.fm. We have business shows, spiritual shows, energy healing shows, and pretty much everything in between. Something for everyone, guaranteed to inspire, educate, and transform. We are transforming the world, one listener at a time.
Are you ready for unfiltered gratitude, unfiltered frequency, and unfiltered creation? Then don't miss Mike Murphy Unfiltered on TransformationTalkRadio.com Thursday from 12 to 2 Pacific Time, as Mike Murphy and a cast of powerful guests discuss and demonstrate the principles and practices of the creation frequency. Tune in to unleash the power of your mind. Open the immense energy of the heart to manifest an awesome life filled with true health, wealth, confidence, gratitude, and joy. Unfiltered truth and unfiltered frequency to uncover and let go of limiting beliefs and access your powerful intentions that resonate out into the universe with Mike Murphy Unfiltered. For more information on Mike and his work, visit his website at MikeMurphyUnfiltered.com.
Miss any shows during the week? Don't worry, we've got you covered. With the free Transformation Talk Radio app, you'll have access to all of the past week's shows in the palm of your hand. Tune in to Transformation Talk Radio anywhere you go with our free app for any of your devices. Check out our app in the App Store and Google Play Store today.
Welcome back, folks, to the Mike Murphy Unfiltered Show, and we're so blessed to have you here today, and we're especially happy to have Marcia Wieder joining us from Medellin, Colombia, at our retreat center there, Mountains of Hope. And so, Marcia, when we left off last, you mentioned wounds, and I want you to tell us, you know, what do we do with those childhood wounds? What happens if we don't address them? And if we're going to address them, how do we address them? How do we heal them? And then how do we use them to make our life better?
That's a whole show.
Okay, there you go.
By a wound, I don't mean that, you fell down and scraped your knee, right? So something happens to all of us early in life that basically helps us become more of the person that we're supposed to be. And sometimes it's something small, like you cried and no one came and you decided that you would be self-sufficient for the rest of your life. Or sometimes it's really tragic, the loss of a parent or a loved one, and that forms who we are. But it's quite an extraordinary thing. I mean, a level of awakening in consciousness is to turn toward these things when we're ready. So when we have more maturity and more capacity, and we're able to say, well, okay, how did that issue or experience form me? And what skills do I have because of that? And how can I use that in service? Because to live on purpose means, you know what's unique and what's unique about you, and you want to be in service with your gifts. And I think that's really the power of using a wound. So in my own family, growing up in a house that was hopeless because I had a sister that was handicapped, and as a young child, I became the happy one, but then at some point in life, I started to really feel that it was kind of a persona and it was a face that I was putting on, and started to do the deeper work of who am I really? And, I know myself as this happy person, but, where am I sad? Where am I not unwilling to feel the grief and the pain and the sacrifice? And it really helped me step responsibly and consciously more fully into a teacher and a speaker and an author and a coach, where 30 years of my life was dedicated to making people's dreams come true, because I grew up in a family that didn't believe that was possible.
Yeah. And so tell me about the Meaning Institute. I know you created this wonderful year-long process where people would meet 4 times a year. How did that come to be? And what was your growth process through that? What was your major takeaway, switching gears from making dreams, helping people's dreams come true, to a spiritual teacher?
Well, one of the most important aspects of growth and awakening is some kind of meditation practice, something that will allow us to go beyond our ego and into a deeper understanding of who we really are at a soul level. So whether you're able to sit and breathe quietly, or you use it as a walking meditation, or you exercise for meditation, anything that will get you away from just knowing yourself as an identity, there's so much more. And in a meditation practice, I was guided to take my teaching to another level. And I was shown that I could build something that I had been introduced to in my 20s, but it didn't make sense to me. And it was a modern day mystery school. Mm-hmm. So a mystery school studies the mysteries of life, the things that cannot be seen or touched, like love and compassion and power. And as you know, because you were in it for multiple years, we had 100 people for a year, and every 90 days we met to really deepen into the essence of who we are. And every single person, including and maybe especially me, was deeply transformed by that process. And I learned that it's much more interesting and richer for me to live life as a mystery, as being in beginner's mind, to have more curiosity. Instead of I know the answer, part of me is like, I don't really know anything. And I notice that I have so much more delight and awe and appreciation and magic in my life than when I thought I needed to know and understand. There was a Nobel Peace Prize winner years ago who said, understanding is the booby prize. Yeah. So I don't offer that year-long program anymore, but when somebody comes to do a visionary strategy day with me, as you did, that's really what we're using. So people can fly to Italy to work with me, or I fly to wherever people are. We spend an intensive day. The morning is about opening up to the visionary and the essence of your soul, who you are and why you're here. In the afternoon, we're designing a strategy and a game plan for implementation. And sometimes people know who they are, but what I've so developed over the years is the ability to dream bigger than most people. And I'm fast. I'm kind of a shortcut queen. So, when I named the creation frequency, when you came, it was beautiful, but it was a very specific thing. And we opened it up to the universe. And I'm thrilled you now have your show and your book, and, it's going to impact and wake up people around the world. So I created the Mystery School it was a moment in time. I did it for 3 years. And then after that, life basically swept me to Rome, Italy, to practice living in the mystery. So I became less identified with a lot of my labels. I don't really talk about myself as a speaker, author, coach, workshop conductor right now. I'm in this period of available for when life calls. Like I just got invited to Prague to speak for the Young Presidents Organization, to Tel Aviv to do another TEDx talk. And I check in with my heart and say, okay, is this what life really wants from me? I listen to the mystery, which may sound really hokey to people, but Mike, I'm a New Yorker. I lived in Washington, D.C. for 20 years. I'm a grounded, practical, results-oriented person. And since I've opened to the mystery of life, life has become so much richer, more filled with love and laughter. And I just am excited to see what's ahead.
What I just heard you say, Marcia, and tell me if I'm wrong, but if I can let go and let God, anybody can.
Yeah, if you can, anyone can. I often say if I could build a multi-million-dollar business making dreams come true, anything is possible.
Oh, boy. Marcia, this has been a wonderful hour. It's gone by way too quick. So thank you so much. I'm hopeful we can have you on again. Before we go, where can our viewers, listeners go to see more of your work? And folks, I really encourage you to, if you want to do a one-day with Marcia, I've done, like she said, 8 of them, you'll greatly benefit from this experience. And if they want to do that, how do they contact you?
Thank you. So if you go to dreamuniversity.com, there's free resources right there. If you opt in, there are 10 short videos that will take you through the Dream Coach process. If you want some of our online programs like the Dream Coach course or How to Be an Inspiring Speaker, I helped Mike in the early days. The Wealthy Visionary Conference, you'll find that at dreamuniversity.com. If you're more interested in working with me one-on-one in the Visionary Strategy Days, or purchasing my new book, which was a Wall Street Journal #4 bestseller, or even booking me for a speaking engagement, please go to my personal site, which is Marcia Wieder, WIEDER, MarciaWeeder.com.
And the name of that book was Dream?
Dream.
Okay.
And one word, dream.
So, Marcia, once again, thank you so much. I'm so grateful to you. I love you. Go back outside and enjoy my beautiful farm there in Colombia, and I hope to be back there soon. And then I hope to see you in Rome this summer as well.
I would love that, and thank you so much for a great time.
Thank you. God bless. See you later. All right, folks, that was a great, wonderful time with Marcia Wieder. I'm so grateful that she was my first guest on my first show here, and thank you all for tuning in. We just have a couple more minutes. And we do have another hour coming up. And we have another wonderful guest that hour, Mr. Greg Reed. And the more I researched him recently, and he's another friend, but I really had to research him. I don't know him as well as Marcia. What an amazing guy. A film producer, author, great speaker, and he's in a secret society called Secret Knock. You'll learn more about that. And before we go, I just want to invite you to pick up my book, The Creation Frequency. It's available at Amazon, and you'll love it. It's only $10. It's very simple read. But more importantly, we went deeper with an online course called by the same name, the Creation Frequency Online Course. And we've been selling it all over the place. Everybody in every state in America has bought it, and maybe a dozen countries outside the U.S. People have taken this course, and it's resonating. It's working. We've also created a free app that's free at iTunes and Google Play, and we provide that for free as well. The course retails for $397, but in honor of this new show and then my new audience here, and I'll call you friends prematurely since I don't know you all yet, but hopefully we will meet one day. We're going to offer it for $197. So if you go to MikeMurphyUnfiltered.com and hit the Creation Frequency tab, you go there, you can purchase the course. It's $397. You put in promo code RADIO, and we're going to reduce the price by $200. And by the way, I paid $350 for this information in 1982, and what I'm giving you is 10 times more than what I received. So it's great value. And so we're going to sell it to you for $197, but then we're going to take $100 of that $197, and we're going to donate it to the Love for Margot Foundation, which is my nonprofit work, in your name, and we'll email you a receipt. And so now you're making a contribution to make the world a better place, and you're going to get an amazing course that will really, I believe, if you take it and take it seriously and do the work, it will forever transform the way you view life and live life, and you too will make your dreams come true. So until next hour, we'll see you in just a little bit, but thank you so much, and God bless.
You've been listening to Mike Murphy, unfiltered, unfettered, unflinching, unafraid, on TransformationTalkRadio.com. Thanks for tuning in, and don't miss the next Unfiltered show next Thursday from noon to 2 Pacific Time on TransformationTalkRadio.com, as Mike Murphy and a cast of powerful guests strip away the veil of limitation using the groundbreaking practices of the creation frequency. Tune in to unleash the power of your mind. Open the immense energy of the heart to manifest an awesome life filled with true health, wealth, confidence, gratitude, and joy. Unfiltered truth, unfiltered frequency, unfiltered possibilities on Mike Murphy Unfiltered Radio. For more information on Mike and his work, visit MikeMurphyUnfiltered.com.